Question 1. Which amendment to the U.S. Constitution protects citizens against unreasonable searches and seizures? A. First Amendment. B. Fourth Amendment. C. Fifth Amendment. D. Sixth Amendment. Answer. B. Fourth Amendment. Explanation. The Fourth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution protects citizens from unreasonable searches and seizures by the government. This amendment requires law enforcement to obtain a warrant based on probable cause before conducting most searches. The exclusionary rule, derived from this amendment, prohibits the use of illegally obtained evidence in court. Question 2. What is the primary role of law enforcement officers in Nevada? A. To create laws. B. To enforce laws and maintain public order. C. To interpret laws. D. To litigate cases in court. Answer. B. To enforce laws and maintain public order. Explanation. The primary role of law enforcement officers is to enforce laws and maintain public order. This includes preventing and investigating crimes, apprehending offenders, and ensuring the safety and security of the community. Question 3. Scenario. Officer Martinez stops a vehicle for a traffic violation in Nevada. During the stop, he notices a small bag of a substance that appears to be illegal drugs in plain view on the passenger seat. What should Officer Martinez do next? A. Ignore the substance and issue a traffic citation. B. Arrest the driver immediately without further investigation. C. Ask for consent to search the vehicle. D. Seize the substance and conduct a search based on probable cause. Answer. D. Seize the substance and conduct a search based on probable cause. Explanation. Under the plain view doctrine, if an officer lawfully stops a vehicle and sees contraband in plain view, they have probable cause to seize the contraband and search the vehicle. This is supported by the Fourth Amendment and related case law. Question 4. Under the Nevada Revised Statutes, NRS, what is required for a legal arrest to be made? A. Reasonable suspicion. B. Probable cause. C. Preponderance of evidence. D. Beyond a reasonable doubt. Answer. B. Probable cause. Explanation. According to the NRS and the Fourth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, an arrest must be based on probable cause. Probable cause exists when an officer has a reasonable belief, based on factual evidence, that a person has committed a crime. Question 5. Which of the following federal laws ensures the protection of civil rights against discrimination by law enforcement in Nevada? A. Title X. B. The Civil Rights Act of 1964. C. The Equal Pay Act. D. The Voting Rights Act. Answer. B. The Civil Rights Act of 1964. Explanation. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 is a landmark federal law that outlaws discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. It ensures that law enforcement agencies and officers do not engage in discriminatory practices. Question 6. Scenario. Officer Brown is conducting an interview with a suspect in Nevada. The suspect requests an attorney. What must Officer Brown do next according to Miranda rights? A. Continue the interview without the attorney. B. Inform the suspect that they cannot have an attorney. C. Immediately cease the interview until the attorney is present. D. Tell the suspect they can only have an attorney if they are charged. Answer. C. Immediately cease the interview until the attorney is present. Explanation. According to the Miranda ruling, if a suspect requests an attorney during a custodial interrogation, the interview must stop until the attorney is present. This ensures the suspect's Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination is protected. Question 7. What is the primary function of the grand jury in the criminal justice system of Nevada? A. To determine the guilt or innocence of a defendant. B. To hear appeals from lower courts. C. To decide whether there is enough evidence to indict a suspect. D. To negotiate plea deals. Answer: C. To decide whether there is enough evidence to indict a suspect. Explanation: the primary function of the grand jury is to review evidence presented by the prosecution and determine whether there is sufficient evidence to indict a suspect and proceed to trial. This is a preliminary step in the criminal justice process. Question 8. In Nevada, what standard of proof is required for a criminal conviction in court? A. Reasonable suspicion. B. Probable cause. C. Preponderance of evidence. D. Beyond a reasonable doubt. Answer: D. Beyond a reasonable doubt. Explanation: in criminal cases, the standard of proof required for a conviction is beyond a reasonable doubt. This is the highest standard of proof in the legal system, reflecting the serious consequences of a criminal conviction. Question 9. Scenario: Ms. Garcia is arrested for a crime in Nevada and is unable to afford an attorney. What does the law require to ensure her right to legal representation? A. She must represent herself in court. B. The court must appoint a public defender or attorney to represent her. C. She can only have an attorney if she pleads guilty. D. She will be provided an attorney only during the trial. Answer: B. The court must appoint a public defender or attorney to represent her. Explanation: according to the Sixth Amendment and related case law, Gideon v. Wainwright, if a defendant cannot afford an attorney, the court must appoint one to ensure the defendant's right to legal representation is protected throughout the legal process. Question 10. What is the primary purpose of conducting a thorough crime scene investigation in Nevada? A. To create a visual representation of the crime. B. To collect evidence that may be used to identify suspects and support criminal charges. C. To interview witnesses and victims. D. To deter future criminal activity. Answer: B. To collect evidence that may be used to identify suspects and support criminal charges. Explanation: the primary purpose of a crime scene investigation is to meticulously collect and preserve evidence that can be analyzed to identify suspects and support criminal charges in court. Proper handling and documentation of evidence are critical for ensuring its admissibility and reliability. Question 11. Which of the following is a legal requirement when interviewing juvenile suspects in Nevada? A. Juvenile suspects can be interviewed without any special considerations. B. Juvenile suspects must always be interviewed in the presence of their parents or guardians. C. Juvenile suspects must be advised of their Miranda rights, and their parents or guardians must be notified. D. Juvenile suspects can only be interviewed if they waive their rights. Answer: C. Juvenile suspects must be advised of their Miranda rights, and their parents or guardians must be notified. Explanation: when interviewing juvenile suspects, law enforcement officers must advise them of their Miranda rights and make reasonable efforts to notify their parents or guardians. This ensures that the juvenile's rights are protected and that they have support during the legal process. Question 12. Scenario: Detective Lee is reconstructing a crime scene in Nevada. During the reconstruction, new evidence is found that contradicts the initial witness statements. What should Detective Lee do? A. Ignore the new evidence and rely on the initial statements. B. Disregard both the new evidence and the initial statements. C. Re-evaluate the case considering the new evidence and update the investigation report. D. Only consider the new evidence if it supports the prosecution's case. Answer: C. Re-evaluate the case considering the new evidence and update the investigation report. Explanation. Investigative integrity requires that all evidence be considered and evaluated, regardless of whether it supports the initial theory of the case. Detective Lee should re-evaluate the investigation in light of the new evidence and update the report to reflect an accurate and comprehensive analysis. Question 13. What is a key principle of community policing in Nevada? A. Reducing police visibility in communities. B. Building partnerships between law enforcement and community members. C. Increasing the number of arrests. D. Focusing solely on reactive policing strategies. Answer. B. Building partnerships between law enforcement and community members. Explanation. Community policing emphasizes building strong partnerships between law enforcement and community members to collaboratively address and prevent crime, enhance public safety, and improve trust and cooperation. Question 14. In a crisis intervention situation, what is the first priority for law enforcement officers in Nevada? A. Arresting the individuals involved. B. Ensuring the safety of all individuals present, including the officers. C. Conducting a thorough investigation. D. Collecting evidence at the scene. Answer. B. Ensuring the safety of all individuals present, including the officers. Explanation. In crisis intervention situations, the primary priority for law enforcement is to ensure the safety of everyone involved, including the officers, victims, and bystanders. This often involves de-escalation techniques and stabilizing the situation before taking further action. Question 15. Scenario. Officer Chen is responding to a domestic violence call in Nevada. Upon arrival, he finds the situation very tense with both parties yelling at each other. What is the best initial approach for Officer Chen to take? A. Immediately arrest both parties. B. Separate the individuals and try to calm them down before gathering information. C. Ignore the situation and leave. D. Ask the neighbors for more information first. Answer. B. Separate the individuals and try to calm them down before gathering information. Explanation. In domestic violence situations, it is important to first separate the individuals to prevent further escalation and ensure safety. Once separated, Officer Chen can attempt to de-escalate the situation and gather information to assess the circumstances and determine the appropriate response. Question 16. What is the primary objective during an active shooter situation in Nevada? A. To negotiate with the shooter. B. To evacuate all civilians. C. To neutralize the threat as quickly as possible. D. To collect evidence for future prosecution. Answer. C. To neutralize the threat as quickly as possible. Explanation. The primary objective during an active shooter situation is to neutralize the threat as quickly as possible to prevent further harm or loss of life. This often involves immediate action to locate and stop the shooter. Question 17. Which of the following is a key component of effective tactical operations in Nevada? A. Acting independently without coordination. B. Clear communication and coordination among team members. C. Avoiding the use of specialized equipment. D. Minimizing the number of officers involved. Answer. B. Clear communication and coordination among team members. Explanation. Effective tactical operations require clear communication and coordination among team members to ensure that all actions are well planned, synchronized, and executed safely and effectively. Question 18. Scenario. Officer Roberts arrives at the scene of a suspected hostage situation in Nevada. What should his first course of action be? A. Rush into the building to confront the suspect. B. Establish a perimeter and call for backup and specialized units. C. Negotiate with the suspect immediately. D. Gather information from bystanders before taking any action. Answer. B. Establish a perimeter and call for backup and specialized units. Explanation. In a hostage situation, the first course of action is to establish a secure perimeter to contain the situation and prevent the suspect from escaping. Officer Roberts should then call for backup and specialized units, such as a SWAT team, to handle the situation appropriately. Question 19. Which technological tool is commonly used in Nevada for crime mapping and data analysis? A. Body cameras. B. Crime mapping software. C. Radar guns. D. DNA analysis kits. Answer. B. Crime mapping software. Explanation. Crime mapping software is commonly used by law enforcement to analyze crime data, identify trends, and allocate resources effectively. This technology helps in strategic planning and proactive policing. Question 20. What is the primary purpose of using body-worn cameras by law enforcement officers in Nevada? A. To monitor officer behavior and ensure accountability. B. To replace written reports. C. To increase the number of arrests. D. To reduce the need for court testimony. Answer. A. To monitor officer behavior and ensure accountability. Explanation. Body-worn cameras are used to monitor officer behavior, ensure accountability, and provide an objective record of interactions between law enforcement and the public. This technology can help build trust, improve transparency, and provide valuable evidence in investigations. Question 21. Scenario. Officer Lopez is using a forensic software tool to analyze digital evidence from a suspect's computer in Nevada. He finds encrypted files. What should his next step be? A. Delete the encrypted files. B. Attempt to decrypt the files using available software. C. Ignore the encrypted files and move on to other evidence. D. Report the findings and request assistance from a digital forensics specialist. Answer. D. Report the findings and request assistance from a digital forensics specialist. Explanation. Encrypted files may contain critical evidence, and it is important to handle them properly. Officer Lopez should report the findings and seek assistance from a digital forensics specialist who has the expertise and tools to decrypt and analyze the files without compromising the evidence. Question 22. Which of the following physical abilities is typically assessed in the Nevada Police Entry Assessment Exam? A. Handwriting skills. B. Typing speed. C. Cardiovascular endurance. D. Public speaking skills. Answer. C. Cardiovascular endurance. Explanation. Physical fitness assessments for law enforcement typically include tests of cardiovascular endurance, such as running, to ensure that officers have the physical stamina required for the job. Question 23. Why is physical fitness important for law enforcement officers in Nevada? A. To perform administrative tasks more efficiently. B. To ensure the safety and effectiveness of officers in physically demanding situations. C. To compete in sports events. D. To improve their personal appearance. Answer. B. To ensure the safety and effectiveness of officers in physically demanding situations. Explanation. Physical fitness is crucial for law enforcement officers as it enhances their ability to perform physically demanding tasks, respond to emergencies, and ensure their safety and the safety of others. Question 24. Scenario. Officer Kim is required to climb a high wall as part of a physical agility test in Nevada. What is the primary reason for this requirement? A. To test problem-solving skills. B. To assess the ability to overcome physical barriers in pursuit situations. C. To measure teamwork. D. To evaluate verbal communication skills. Answer: B. To assess the ability to overcome physical barriers in pursuit situations. Explanation: the physical agility test, including tasks such as climbing walls, is designed to assess an officer's ability to overcome physical barriers that they may encounter during foot pursuits or emergency situations. Question 25. In Nevada, what is a critical aspect of effective problem-solving in law enforcement? A. Ignoring community input. B. Making decisions based on assumptions. C. Analyzing situations and making informed decisions based on evidence. D. Relying solely on past experiences. Answer: C. Analyzing situations and making informed decisions based on evidence. Explanation: effective problem-solving in law enforcement involves analyzing situations, gathering evidence, and making informed decisions. This approach ensures that actions are based on facts and logic rather than assumptions or biases. Question 26. Which of the following is a common problem-solving model used by law enforcement agencies in Nevada? A. SARA, Scanning, Analysis, Response, Assessment, Model. B. SWOT, Strengths, Weaknesses, Opportunities, Threats, Analysis. C. Six Sigma. D. Lean Manufacturing. Answer: A. SARA, Scanning, Analysis, Response, Assessment, Model. Explanation: the SARA model is a widely used problem-solving approach in law enforcement that involves scanning to identify problems, analyzing the causes, developing responses, and assessing the effectiveness of the interventions. Question 27. Scenario: Officer Jackson encounters a complex situation involving multiple suspects and conflicting witness statements in Nevada. What should his approach be to resolve the situation effectively? A. Make quick decisions without gathering more information. B. Rely on his initial impression and proceed accordingly. C. Take time to gather all available information, analyze the evidence, and consult with colleagues if necessary. D. Ignore the witness statements and focus solely on the suspects. Answer: C. Take time to gather all available information, analyze the evidence, and consult with colleagues if necessary. Explanation: in complex situations, it is essential to gather all available information, analyze the evidence thoroughly, and consult with colleagues if needed to make well-informed decisions. This approach helps ensure that the resolution is based on a comprehensive understanding of the situation. Question 28. What is a key component of critical thinking for law enforcement officers in Nevada? A. Accepting information at face value. B. Questioning assumptions and evaluating evidence. C. Following orders without question. D. Making decisions based on emotions. Answer: B. Questioning assumptions and evaluating evidence. Explanation: critical thinking involves questioning assumptions, evaluating evidence, and considering different perspectives. This approach helps law enforcement officers make informed and rational decisions. Question 29. Why is it important for law enforcement officers in Nevada to avoid biases in their decision-making? A. To ensure fairness and impartiality in enforcing the law. B. To increase the number of arrests. C. To maintain a high public profile. D. To simplify their job. Answer: A. To ensure fairness and impartiality in enforcing the law. Explanation: avoiding biases is crucial to ensure that law enforcement officers enforce the law fairly and impartially. This helps maintain public trust and ensures that justice is served without discrimination or prejudice. Question 30. Scenario: Detective Parker is evaluating a series of burglary cases in Nevada. The evidence points to several potential suspects, but there is no definitive proof. What should Detective Parker do to avoid confirmation bias? A. Focus only on the most likely suspect and ignore other possibilities. B. Collect and analyze all available evidence objectively, considering all potential suspects. C. Disregard new evidence if it contradicts the initial theory. D. Rely on personal intuition to identify the suspect. Answer. B. Collect and analyze all available evidence objectively, considering all potential suspects. Explanation. To avoid confirmation bias, Detective Parker should objectively collect and analyze all available evidence, considering all potential suspects. This approach ensures that decisions are based on a comprehensive and unbiased evaluation of the evidence.